And in English too. Lema'an achai v'reyad, lema'an achai v'reyad, adabra na, shalom ba. We need peace right now for our brothers and sisters, especially in Israel.
Amen.
Also here at home.
Amen.
Because of my brothers and friends, because of my sisters and friends, please let me ask, please let me sing peace to you. Hey, this is the house of the Lord. I wish the best for you and me. Join me. Na 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 na. Everybody. Na 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 na. La 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 la. Na na na. Ra 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 ra. Ta ra ra. One more time. Ta ra ra na 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 na. La 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 la. Ra 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 ra. Ta ra ra na 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 na. Na 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 na. Thank you so much. Just to warm ourselves up a little bit, before we get into the program, I want to just make a few quick announcements, and that is that this party for singles is one of 3 happening over this weekend, but I'm really happy to say that from all the early numbers, I'm involved with the other 2 parties too. And they're different age groups. This is, as you know, 40 and plus, and I'm going to announce the other 2. These numbers are by far the biggest. And in spite of the rain, in spite of everything, and I think what that's showing us is that the population that's over 40 and not married is underserved. And it really needs more attention. And I really want to thank Rabbi Shiner and this synagogue for taking this initiative and specifically creating, because we are seeing, we only began publicity for this like 10 days ago. And we had, I think, 80 or 90 people registered. Some couldn't come because of the weather. There were a few last minute people couldn't make it. But I think this is showing that there's a need and a demand. And I, again, want to commend this synagogue for taking the initiative, because too often this group is not supported the way it should be. And we'll hear more as the panel conversation continues later. Let me just say that. The other 2 events, there is an event in Surfside for 35 to 59. You can see Eva Kane, she's here, if you want more details. And you can see me, for more details too. But it's this Sunday, it's this Sunday at 7 o'clock. It's a white party. And everybody of that age group is invited. If you know people, please tell them. And there's also a 22 to 33-year-old white party happening in Bell Harbor also. So there's good activity going on here. But again, this is where the numbers are. And I bless you all. We're going to get a minute into what the meaning of this day is. But I bless you all to quickly find your soulmates.
Yes, quickly.
And this, today, is not the 15th of Av, Tu B'Av, but it's Shabbat is Tu B'Av. So whatever I will tell you, I will speak a little bit about that in the context of how it relates to single people today, and what lessons we can learn from this ancient, little-known holiday, how it speaks to our time and to contemporary society in terms of issues with relationships and how to turn relationships into marital relationships. So I will quote initially to you a teaching from the Mishnah in the Talmud. And the Talmud says, great Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel, why it is significant that he is saying that, we'll get to at the very end of this short talk. he says that there were no holidays in ancient Israel, and to this day even, as significant as the 15th of Av, which is this Shabbat, and as Yom Kippur. This is compared to Yom Kippur. So you may wonder, whoa, that's a big one. Why didn't I know about that earlier? But this is the way it was seen in the Mishnah, and this is the way it was seen in ancient Israel. And we're not paying enough attention to the message behind this holiday. And what would happen on this holiday that was so amazing? And the Talmud says that the women who were single in ancient Israel, they're called Benot Yerushalayim, the daughters of Jerusalem, would walk out in white garments, white borrowed garments. Why borrowed? Because we don't want a rich person to embarrass a poor person by the way they're dressed. So everybody had to borrow from someone else to sort of give everybody a fair chance. And where would they go? They'd go to the vineyards in Jerusalem, and what would they do? They would dance. And guess what? All the guys from all of Israel came to, all the single guys, I should say. Check those words. I'm sure there were a few cheaters, but all the single guys, I hope there weren't too many, but all the single guys would come from all over to watch this magnificent sight. And hold on tight, tell you what happened next. A woman would then go over to a man and say, I'll quote the Mishnah first, and then I'll take some liberties and translate. Bachur sa na einecha, which I'll take light liberty and say, hey boy, lift up your eyes. Little holy flirt there. And the Talmud explains she would say, see beauty. And then the Talmud goes on to say, she would say, look at my background, look where I come from. Look at my family. And then the Talmud quotes from Proverbs, from Mishlei, the song we sing Friday night, Eshet Chayil. And the words are, Sheker hachein behevel hayofi, Isha yirat Hashem hitet halal, which means, charm is false. Beauty is vain. A woman that fears God, you shall praise. There's a lot to unpack here. We start out with beauty being viewed in a very positive way. The woman says, hey, see my beauty, basically. And we end up critiquing beauty. There's a message here. And taking a deeper look at this, the Talmud is telling us it is natural to, in the beginning, when you meet somebody, for the first thing to look for is beauty. That's human nature. And that's cool. That's right. There's nothing wrong with that. What's wrong is when you get fixated on that and you can't see beyond that. So the next thing she says is, look at me deeper. And then there's a quote saying that look for the person who really has some meaning, who is a Yirat Hashem, who has deeper meaning in life. Look to see if the person you are with, the outer beauty and the inner beauty correlate. Because the first surface view you have makes a strong impression, and it's important. But don't stop there. Look deeper. It is legitimate to look for beauty. It is illegitimate to be fixated on it, and to think that's all there is. And if I can just sort of sum it up before we continue a little bit deeper, don't let the surface impressions of your first look deny you the ability to look deeper. Keep on looking, keep on listening. But as we continue, you will see the message of this holiday goes so much deeper. Because from the Talmud now, I'm going to turn to the Kabbalah. And we're going to see how in Kabbalistic teachings this day is viewed. And believe me, the Talmudic discussion is much longer than I'm making it, giving you the synopsis. The Kabbalah teaching of this holiday is that today is 40 days before the first day of creation. Tu B'Av, the Shabbat, will be 40 days before the 25th of Elul, which is 6 days before Rosh Hashanah, which is the 7th day. And today is 40 days before the first day of creation. The Talmud and the Kabbalah both teach. Hear this. Before a child is born, 40 days before a child is born, in heaven they announce their soulmate. So guess what? You met your soulmate a long time ago. Just a little bit hard to find them down here on earth. You know? Not so simple. But 40 days before creation is Shabbat. We believe that the first day of creation, man was created, the sun, the moon, they were all created on the first day. But they didn't become manifest. Man didn't become manifest to the 6th day, the sun and the moon to the 4th day, vegetation the 3rd day. But they were all created on the first day. That means this Shabbat is 40 days before. That's when the soulmates of the universe get mated. So this Shabbat is really an appropriate day to pray, to look, to reflect, and try to get into relationship. But to take it one step deeper yet, why 40? 40 is very significant in our tradition. From Egypt to Israel, it took us 40 years. Moses, going up to heaven to bring down the Torah, took him 40 days. If a person is ritually impure, they need to go to a mikvah, which has 40 measures of water. The Talmud says when you reach the age of 40, you have what's called bina. Bina is to make distinctions. Now, to know nuance in life. Now, how does all that relate to what we're talking about? Because you know what? When you're looking for your soulmate, you're coming out of your Egypt, trying to find your promised land. And you need to look to see if the person you're looking at and talking to is someone that you think you can share your idyllic promised land, which is what marriage is about. And yes, we have a lot of schmutz, and our soulmates help get rid of some of that dirt. They cleanse us. It's our little mikvah when you get married. And you know what? Moses bringing the Torah down here, 40 days. This 40-day period, suggesting relationships is a process, it takes time. Yes, you want to be able to bring into your life an idyllic, heavenly-like environment. So that's 40. 40 is transformational, as you see. In each of these areas, it's transformational. And my dear friends, in relationship, to have the power of 40 of Binah, as I mentioned earlier, to know distinction, to know nuance, is so, so important. Because it's so easy to misjudge and misread signals. And Binah is the tragedy of our generation. They can't tell the difference between Hamas and Israel. It's in the I'm not going to get into politics right now. Don't get me started. But we are lacking Binah. Liberalism used to speak about nuance. It's gone. When I was a kid, I heard that phrase a lot. I'm stopping politics right now, I promise. And if I don't, I'm banging one more time, I'll slip again into it. But yes, the same politics is politics of relationships, my dear friends. You need to have nuance to avoid fights and disagreements, and always be able to begin again. But now I'm really getting to the ultimate Kabbalistic teaching of what this pre-creation period is about. It's like before you're creating your marriage, before you're creating your relationship. Birthing it, as we said earlier, 40-day period your soulmate is announced. Because what happens in Kabbalah before creation is something very powerful. It's very relevant to relationship. God, who is all perfect, the Kabbalists ask, how could he create an imperfect world is you and me, and this crazy world. If he's all perfect, he, by definition, could only connect to perfection. So the Kabbalists say that God contracted himself, made himself smaller, and made room for imperfection. So we always think as creation as expansion. In Kabbalah, creation is contraction. It's called tzimtzum. It's called making room for the other, letting the other shine. In relationship, each side needs to listen a lot and speak a lot. But each side needs to make room for the other to shine, to expand, which we identify creation with, as you're creating a relationship, but also to have the other voice heard, to have the nuance heard. And I would say that is probably the challenge of our generation right now, is we live in a talking head culture. Everybody's talking, including me. I'm a rabbi, I earn a living talking. So I confess to you guys. But it's about listening, and it's about hearing and talking. And so, to sort of sum it up, Yom Kippur is the day like Tu B'Av, when this great single consciousness was in our Judaism, in our practice, so powerfully it manifested, and people would come and meet in these vineyards, on Yom Kippur too, mind you. What happens on Yom Kippur? You forgive. God forgives us. You get a second chance. And that is so important in relationship. And by making room for the other, you're allowing for that forgiving process. And you're anticipating for the need to not to have to forgive by hearing the other. So just to sum it up, why is it so significant that this teaching about this greatness of this holiday was said by Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel? Because this great rabbi, Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel, was the last leader, spiritual leader of the Jewish community before the destruction of the temple. He was the Nasi, he was the head rabbi, and during his reign the temple was destroyed. I'm not going to get into his biography right now. But I think what he's telling us is the temple was destroyed because of senseless hatred, we know. Sinat chinam. The fixing of senseless hatred is what Tu B'Av is about. It's creating a loving relationship. It's true temple-wise. It's true for your own house. It's true for your own home. So he's seeing prophetically the temple is being destroyed, and he's telling us for all eternity, it's in the Talmud, this day is so important to learn from, both communally, politically, nationally, and most importantly for each and every one of us personally, to learn to make room for the other, and to try to connect, to love the other, and to create relationship that allows that to happen. And I'm really going to end by saying that one great master of Tzedakah Cohen said that from Tisha B'Av to Tu B'Av is 7 days. 7 days in our tradition has two opposite important meanings. One is, God forbid it never happened, but when somebody passes away, we sit Shiva. It's a 7-day mourning period. And the average holiday in the temple period was 7 days. So 7 days from Tu B'Av to Tu B'Shvat, from Tisha B'Av, forgive me, from Tisha B'Av to Tu B'Av is the period of what starts as mourning and ends as a holiday. And ends as the greatest holiday. You know what the greatest Yom Kippur of your life is? When you stand under the chuppah and you meet your soulmate. That's your Yom Kippur. That's your Rosh Hashanah. That's your new beginning. And that's what Tu B'Av is about. So I want to end by singing one strong song for your weddings at the right time. And it starts with the words Mehera. And Mehera means may it happen fast. So hear me out. And then the pattern will begin. Mehera, Mehera, Oy Mehera, happen fast in the cities of Judah and in the gates of Jerusalem. It's calling for us to come back to the Holy Land, to come back to the temple. But it's also the song that's sung when you build your own little temple, your binyan adayag, your own little house. So join me in this song. If you don't know the words, they are la la. I'll go to la la, it's easier than the words. I'll do it one time in Hebrew. Meheira, meheira, Hashem Elokeinu. Na 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 na. Put your hands together. For your wedding. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Come on. La 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 la. Oh, yeah, come on. Which women are going to get up and dance? Show the guys. Which guys are going to get up and dance? What? Come on, women. You're supposed to dance. One more time. Na 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 na.
This is our little Rosh Hashanah reunion.
Yes.
Oh, you were dancing?
Yes.
That's how I'm dancing.
Yeah. I'll be there again in September.
May you all be blessed with a great mazel tov.
I like the way you think.
May all good luck on your wedding. I'll just really end by saying,
I think I'll go to the
mazel
garden.
tov in
Just like
Hebrew does not just mean good luck.
Yeah.
One grand finale. Mazel tov in Hebrew does not just mean good luck. It means, mazal means flow. Tizal katal imrati, the word in the Bible. Thy word shall flow like dew. Mazel tov means everybody should have a good flow in their lives.
Amen.
I bless you all that everything flows properly. You meet your soulmate. You meet your needs. And that's the good luck we ask for. Thank you so much. Panelists, come up here. Let's take it away.